Mine's my
So
copperhead
I got in
machine.
the house, I got a gorgeous skin from an eastern corn snake that I hit with the mower. I would never in a million years kill an eastern corn snake,
Yeah.
but I hit it and I was like, oh my gosh. And but I'm like, well, gee, we just destroyed its head. The rest of it would
Oh,
make a hell of a hat band. So
that's
I just
pretty
hate
cool.
that I killed a good snake because it was
Right.
entirely accidental.
You must have been running wide open.
Dude, I like truly, I run the thing like a bush hog half the time. I don't know if you can see that at all.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a lot
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's probably a couple because I looked up the state record and it's probably an inch or two short of the state record for an eastern corn snake.
What's up, everybody? It's Caleb here at the mower store in Ridgeway, Virginia. If you can see that fella in the background there in the other shot, that is Delegate Tom Garrett. And he wanted to slide into the shot. I told him he better not hit his camera. So he's going all the way back and he's coming around the turn, zooming in on his SCAG Turf Tiger. And here we go. So we're going to do an interview with Tom.
Oh, Storm.
What's
What's up,
going
man?
on, Tom?
I, just cutting grass in the rain in February.
I was narrating a little bit as you're coming back, and I told everybody that I told you not to run over your camera, so you did a pretty good job.
You might catch a little wobble there. I did. I think I tapped it.
It's all good. At least you didn't run it over. So,
That's right.
what is that underneath your seat there?
Oh, you saw this is. I have a bag that is permanently affixed to the mower. That's where I do the lead for copper exchange. It's my copperhead gun, so that when I'm landscaping the beautiful bucolic scenery around the farm here in Scottsville, if I see a copperhead, then we trade lead for copper. So yeah, get one while you still can. They're banning those too.
I ain't scared. So,
All right. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
it's
Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. Oh, this is safety first. These
safety
masks,
first.
I knew they'd come in good for something.
I'm pretty sure those are mandatory. The government's going to enforce masks to mow this season. Delegate Garrett, we chatted a little bit before. He yelled at me for calling him sir and delegate, but the respect is due. So, Delegate Garrett, thank you so much for your time today. I believe that you found us the mower store on Facebook. Is that right?
I did. And you
Yeah.
guys, what what we do is not that hard, but sometimes it does stink. And the Moore Store has been responsible for bringing more than one smile to the face of a warrior for freedom. So thank you, Caleb, from the Moore Store.
Absolutely. We believe in freedom 100% and push it in the business. And I'm not scared to do that. If it weren't for the flag right there, I mean, none of us would even be here if you think about it. So,
The bad guys aren't afraid to lie. We shouldn't be afraid to tell the truth.
well, I'm not going to keep you long today. I hope that the audience enjoys this. Going to talk about two main things. Number one, I want to talk about that thing that you're sitting on. So that's you reached out. You reached out to us and just told us that you're a SCAG owner, which is freaking awesome. We are a SCAG dealer here in Ridgeway, Virginia. So I want to chat about your mower for a minute, and then I'd love to dive into this the House Bill 881 and talk about that just a little bit. Which, if you followed our Facebook at all here recently, you know that it was a gas leaf blower ban. Can't believe I'm even saying that, but it's what it was. But we want to chat about that for a minute. So, if it's cool, let's jump into your lawnmower. So, tell me what you're sitting on, and talk about your experience a little bit with SCAG.
Well, I'm sitting on my dad's favorite child. About 20 years ago, a fellow named Bill Pettit at Pettit Brothers Automotive in Louisa decided that they were going to stop just selling cars and they started carrying Scags. And my dad bought this mower. I think it was the last mower that Bill Pettit sold before he hung it up and moved to the free state of Florida. And my dad really landscaped as a hobby. And this place, this farm, really, it looked like a golf course. I mean, it just, my mama, I don't know, 5 years ago said, it looked so much better when your daddy was still around. And I'm like, yeah, it did. But and so I joked that I think that he loved me more than the mower, but I'm not sure. And I'll tell you, Caleb, I guess what 115 years ago, Henry Ford said you can have any color Model T you want so long as it's black. And then GM said, we're going to sell you cars in different colors. And then they realized that if they did designed obsolescence, if they changed something or made sure that something would break, that they could sell more cars, right? And that's a business model. And I told you off air, I mean, I've done everything to the SCAG. I run it like a darn bush hog. Maybe occasionally I will knock the drive belt off when I'm cutting heavy brush, but it is overbuilt. And try as I might, it's got over 1,000 hours. Y'all do the math, and I can't break it. It's amazing. I don't know how SCAG stays in business because they don't break.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons. So I bought this dealership 5 years ago in 2020, right in the middle of COVID, and I brought SCAG in. They were not, the dealership was not with SCAG, and I knew of SCAG. I had ran it myself in my past jobs and businesses, which was a lawn care business. So I knew the brand, and I agree 100%. The quality is awesome. Their ingenuity is just incredible. They're comfortable. They're fast. Blah blah blah. It's just they're good machines. So how much
Well,
grass are you cutting each week?
let me get one more, right? Because their business model is counterintuitive, just like you not being afraid to tell people what you believe in. Like most people go, oh, you can't do that and run a business. I mean, what I know about the people that run SCAG is they're honest because the only people who build a product and design it not to break is people who want to have a good product. It's how Honda and Toyota took market share. But gosh, I mean, it's overbuilt. And I've seen mowers that look like this. There is nothing as durable. And I mean, you can look at the gauge of metal on it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Did you know that SCAG is the only, and they market this pretty heavily. I believe it is still the case. They're the only mower brand that is built with American steel. They are built in Mayville, Wisconsin with American steel.
Well, we talk off air about my family's connection to the U.S. steel industry. Suffice it to say that while I was born in Georgia and got back to my family home in Virginia as quickly as I could, my mom was from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So if you know, you know. But
Gotcha.
there's a steel connection in my family, and it's tragic what's happened to that industry.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. How much grass are you cutting each week?
Oh, not as much as I should be. We got about 17 acres here between a couple of properties that my family owns. I'm the chief grass cutter. I probably hit all 17 3 or 4 times a year. And then there's 5+ acres that if I were doing it right, I'd be doing it every 10 days. May and June are a lot worse than August and September, but it's a lot of time on the mower. I will say this, though, truly, my dad was the most amazing person. I'm so blessed. Privilege, but it wasn't color privilege. It was parent privilege. My mom's awesome. But every time I ride this mower, I think about my dad, and I enjoy cutting grass more because of him and because of the product.
Yeah, I love that. We have people come in here quite a bit. In fact, the guy came in about a week or two ago, and he was looking to repair an old tractor. And unfortunately, we couldn't help him. We don't work on stuff. This was like an antique tractor, but it was his late dad's tractor. And the gentleman almost teared up talking about it, but I can just understand that. Like he wanted to get it functional again. So yeah, when you've got something like that, that's got some sentimental value to it, it's good for it to be high quality, so it lasts a long time. So that's awesome. So I hope that one lasts you forever, but if it does not and you have to replace it, what are we going to replace it with?
I mean, what I'm going to do, there's this fella named Caleb. He runs a shop called the Mower Store. I think it's in Ridgeway, Virginia. And, I'm a price point guy, Caleb. But I'll tell you what, when somebody's doing it right, I'll drive a little farther and pay a tiny bit more just to keep them around. So that'd be the first guy I called.
I appreciate that. And, I'll be honest with you. So many people say, give me made in America, but they only say that until it matters, until it hits your wallet. But I think something like power equipment is a place where that does matter. It's something that you're going to use week in and week out. And we tell people these mowers are going to last 15 to 20 years. Like it is an investment. It's not a throwaway toy. It's something that's going to last you a long time. So yeah, it's definitely given my sales.
The one I'm sitting on has been ridden hard and put away wet, and it's north of 20.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So they last. It's worth spending a little extra and get something that's made right. So that's awesome, man. Cool. Well, if it's cool with you, let's jump into the good stuff. If you're watching our channel, you've probably seen the crazy, crazy dude sitting out in our front lawn, either without a shirt on or yelling at his leaf blower. But Man, this bill, I've always avoided, I'm going to be straight up. I've always avoided politics in business. I've got my beliefs, you've got your beliefs, everybody's got their beliefs, and it is what it is. And I've always kind of avoided that in business until the government came in and tried to control my business. And when I saw this thing about this gas blower bill, I thought it was a joke. I actually thought that it was like some kind of satire that somebody had posted. And sure enough, it is legitimate. So, HB 881 was a proposed bill, and it would allow localities, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would allow localities with certain population density to ban or regulate gas-powered leaf blowers and impose civil penalties. And then on top of that, funds generated from those penalties could help pay for non-prohibited alternatives, which essentially would be battery-powered blowers. So, first of all, it's my understanding this has been continued. Is that the case?
Yes.
So can you explain to us normal folk what that means? What does it mean that this
Well,
bill
you
has
can
been
vote
continued?
to pass the bill by indefinitely. You can table a bill, which is continuing it. Essentially, they didn't kill it, but they killed it for this year. So it's sitting around. This thing was here last year, Caleb, and I think it's important if the other side wants to lie that we tell the truth. You're exactly correct. It would be tied to population density. The sort of professional cliche for that is the camel's nose under the tent, right? So as soon as you write it into the code that a locality may, if they meet criteria, do X, Y, or Z, if it's 2,000 people per square mile, then it's very easy to make it 1,800 people per square mile, 1,500 people per square mile. And I've legislated this way too, like I'm pro-life, right? But I would support a bill that said, hey, no abortion after 20 weeks. Oh, that's not good enough. Well, next year we go after 19. Everybody knows this. So it's laid on the table. So that means it's by for the year, but it was here last year too. I'm so glad. I mean this sincerely that you are in the conversation, in the fight. And because I'm going to do the best I can with what God gave me. People, not person, makes a difference. So I will tell you that you're so good that when you did did you know we're banning tape measures? I'm like, crap, I missed that one, and I'm looking through the code. But the crazy thing, Caleb, is that it's believable, right? And if you really want to be sad for our nation, I'll find it and send it to you. I don't want to make fun of people. I always want to attack ideas and not humans. But you watch the testimony in favor of this bill. You know, you would think that these people's biggest problem, the existential challenge in their life, is how their next door neighbor does their lawn care. And I pause for dramatic effect. So, and they're sincere. You got people talking about PTSD and kids can't learn. And I got to move my doctor's office because there's a blower outside every 14th time I go. And I'm like, dude, the odds of being born in this country are 1 in 26, right? And so and I've been so blessed. I've spent time in Iraq and Syria and Sudan and Bosnia. I was in Ukraine getting shot at by Russians 40 days after Putin got there. Got within 4 miles of the Russian border. I figured if we got into 3.5, I wouldn't be sitting here. But what you learn real quickly is that the unluckiest American's luckier than the luckiest person in Zimbabwe or Syria or what have you, particularly if their skin's just a shade off, right? If they happen to be a Christian in a Muslim majority land, there's so many things. If they happen to be a Muslim in a Christian majority land, right? You had a massacre of Muslims at Srebrenica in Bosnia. So we got it good. And if your biggest problem is how your next door neighbor's landscaping, if you'll come and give an impassioned plea before the General Assembly that the polar ice caps are going to melt because that troglodyte next door has a gas-powered leaf blower, you've forgotten how to be grateful. And if you forget how to be grateful, you'll never learn how to be happy, right? So it's at least they're not trying to ban gas-powered leaf blowers. They're trying to take the first step towards banning gas-powered leaf blowers. But it's easier to sink the ships than it is to fight them once they come ashore.
Right, right. Do you think that this is a stepping stone to other bans on other equipment, basically?
I mean, it has to be, right? And you talked about, I think you talked about banning shampoo. Well, that's real, right? There's a bill that's got 12 different ingredients that if it's in your shampoo, we're going to ban it. What we've done with most of these, not making this up, not all of them, but most of them, is said, hey, what are they doing in California? And I don't think that's a good way to run a state. and we tied our entire auto emissions scheme to California. We've now, with the national popular vote, essentially promised to give all of our electoral votes for president to California, New York, Illinois, and Massachusetts. And y'all out there, I know that you love your kids and you're working your butts off to put food on the table. Man, silence is consent, and we really got to just again. And you attack them with a smile. Yeah, I think it's amazing that there's 36 Republicans and 64 Democrats, and we smile more than they do. That speaks to, I think, I know how this all ends. I know where I'm going. I've failed enough in my life that I'm not afraid to fail because God loves me, and whatever anybody else says is ancillary to that.
Yeah. 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 And you said something a minute ago about me like joining the fight. And I can't help but laugh and smile because honestly, man, I started this. I'm in business to make money and just to take care of our customers. And it's like, I did this for a marketing thing, dude. It was just something kind of funny. But now it's like, wait a second. This is a legitimate fight for freedom. It is insane. And it starts with one thing and it's all about control. It's very manipulative the way they go about it. I hate to say that. It is what it is. You start with one little, you give a little bit, you give an inch, speaking of the tape measure, you give an inch and now all of a sudden it's just growing and growing and growing. And, no.
Well, that and on our team, on our side, good people are like, well, it's local option. And I will say this, and this might end up on the cutting room floor. There was a bill recently that I voted for that would allow localities by their discretion to require that any new buildings with a parking lot over a certain size put solar panels over them. And everybody goes, Garrett, what the heck? Why are you voting for that? Let me tell you why. Fairfax, Arlington, Alexandria, Prince William, Loudoun, they're all going to do it. And if I'm building a factory, guess where I'm not building it because they just added $10 million to my costs. Right. So everybody's like, why'd you vote for that solar bill? I'm like, let them do it because we'll take the jobs down here. But it's local option is just a soft sell for now we got our foot in the door.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any specifically with 881 with the leaf blower ban? Are there any versions of it or any compromises that you would support, if they adjusted it? If that makes sense.
So you can do government with a carrot or a stick, right? So I'll tell you what, if you want me to use an electric leaf blower, which I own and like, as long as I don't have to blow leaves for more than 15 minutes, then why don't you give me a tax credit? I've used an electric pole saw to limb trees. It was a Steel. It was awesome. But yeah, so that's the carrot approach. Hey, we want a certain behavior, so we can either penalize one behavior or encourage another. This is a penalization, right? You got a gas leaf blower, we're going to punish you. How about you incentivize me buying an electric one? Yeah. That I can support. But the Democrats can only do one thing with taxes, and that's raise them. But yeah, a tax incentive that encourage people to invest in a different kind of lawn care equipment would be something I think I could probably get behind.
Okay.
You got to throw probably in there when you do what I do because you don't know what it's going to look like when they propose. You said you'd support it,
right?
But yeah, I'm more of a carrot guy. Ultimately, though, it's about freedom, and if your biggest existential gripe is that your next door neighbor has a gas powered leaf blower, then you need to learn a little bit about gratitude.
Sure. My stance has always been on it is that on freedom, my rights stop when they impede on your rights. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? So is me using a leaf blower in any way hindering someone else's three main rights? It's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't get in the way. But anyways, this is the last question I've got on my notes, but how do you feel like a ban like this would affect businesses, landscaping businesses, contractors, et cetera? How do you see something like this affecting?
I want to get a couple of things in if we're wrapping up. First of all, you never feed the monster because if you do, it just needs to eat more the next time. So the first thing that this is going to do is let somebody go back to their district, which is undoubtedly in Fairfax, Arlington, or Alexandria, in this case, Fairfax, and go, look what I did. And then somebody's going to come and go, man, thank goodness we got rid of those gas-powered leaf blowers. You know what really stinks? Gas-powered weed eaters, right? That's so predictable. And so they're going to be emboldened when they pass something like this to pass something even more confiscatory and punitive next time. You got to draw the line every time. You can't give an inch. The game is by its nature incremental for good policy and bad. So all it will do is beget more stupidity going forward. Now, I want to get this out. I don't know. Maybe you need to ask me a question. You guys delegate, Eric Phillips, that guy, and he's been up here, I guess, 2 years and change. He is so sharp. He's a business guy, self-made guy, and you're lucky to have him. And I have to say that number one because I think he's jealous, Caleb, that I'm on with you, but he's your delegate. But number two, because it's true, he's exceptionally good, and I'm happy to be on a team with him.
Eric, you're welcome to come on. I'm friends with Eric. So yeah, I know him personally.
Well, don't tell him. Look, if you're friends with him, don't tell him I said anything good about him. He's already got a giant noggin, but he's exceptional.
Yeah, and I love Ren as well. Yeah, he's real close to this area. So yeah, definitely have some good representation up that way. So
Common sense flew south for the winter, right? I mean, just man.
yeah.
Those people, I really do, but they hate me. They probably hate you. And when I was in Bosnia, somebody surface laid a landmine in the middle of the road, and we are driving down the road, and I saw it, and I'm like telling my driver because we've been up for 25 hours, and I'm like, Hargrove, stop the Humvee, and he skids to a halt right like 5 feet from this anti-tank mine, and we get, oh my gosh, that's what we think it is, and because they weren't shooting at us, right? It was peacekeeping, but that thing would have blown us up because it didn't know whether the war was on or off. And I said to Hargrove, I said, if you're going to try to kill me, you ought to at least first get to know me and decide you don't like me. But yeah, man, it's I'm smile, man, and God's got this. Even if we lose, we win. If your heart's in the right place and you give it to Jesus, so what do we have to worry about?
Yeah, I love that. And I'm just thankful to be here. Thankful for life. I am thankful for our freedoms, man. At the end of the day. Even like looking at these bills and all the political stuff going on, I'm just thankful to be here, truly. And I
mean,
say sincerity.
It's Winston Churchill. I quote him like 10 times a week. It's the worst system in the world except for all the others. But I mean, from the American Revolution to the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement, this is that American walkway towards a more perfect union, right? I love the word more perfect union because it implies that we ain't gonna get there, right? Because Romans 3:23, all of sin comes short of the glory of God. So we got like people who are messed up by nature, governing people. We're never going to get it right, but we're supposed to continue to try to get it right, right? And so, what a blessing that Patrick Henry begat 500,000 dead Americans in the Civil War, and then Dr. King, right? All these people, man, from your neck of the woods, Wendell Scott, man, and so. We're gonna throw this away. We're gonna throw this away, really? Right. So yeah, my fight is not to get anything; it's to keep something.
Yeah, I like that. Let's keep our blowers and our SCAG
and our SCAGs. It can get loud. If I'd turned the choke on, I could have pulled in, turned the mower off, and had it pop right there. But I need to probably duck because y'all got all those gas-powered leaf blowers running around out there.
Well, don't forget we've got blower-proof glass in our new dealership building, so we're safe.
There you go.
We're protected. So, man, dude, I appreciate you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. We've chatted a little bit off air before we did this today, and it's been really fun getting to know you a little bit. Appreciate everything you do up in Richmond, and yeah, keep fighting for us, fighting for our freedoms. So
I asked to be in this fight, and you got dragged into it. So you're a hero. And I'm gonna tell you what, people ask me all the time, like, what can I do? 1 million people who speak to 10 people each reach more than one person who speaks to 1 million. So be that guy. Love your neighbor. Don't be a jerk, but don't be afraid to speak up and say things that are true. They're not afraid to lie. We need to be not afraid to tell the truth.
Well, you've got some grass to cut, and I'm going to head to the gym and go walk. It's definitely too rainy to walk outside today. So, man, you have a great evening, and yeah, we hopefully we can do this again, and maybe Eric will listen to this and he'll come jump on here with me. We'll see.
He would. I'm telling you, he's gonna be. I'm not even kidding. He's gonna be jealous. But we're not recording now. I'm not actually cutting grass in the rain in February. Just you can use that clip if you want, but that's a good way to get unelected in my district, is to have people think that you're the guy who's so dumb that he's cutting grass in the rain in February.